Claressa Shields stood in the spotlight just yesterday, radiant, untouchable, celebrating her own movie premiere. And yet, within 24 hours, that very glow has been drowned in a tidal wave of relationship drama so messy, so public, that even her fiercest supporters could not look away. Because suddenly, this was not about boxing anymore. This was about loyalty, betrayal, and the internet's ruthless obsession with tearing apart someone's private life. The names? Papoose, Remy Ma, and, most cutting of all, Claressa's former fiancé, Tony Richardson. Each one with their own words, their own digs, pulling her name through a battlefield she never asked for. It all began when Papoose posted her photo on Instagram, pairing it with a poetic but cryptic line, "If the path is beautiful, let us not ask where it leads." On its own, innocent. Artistic. But in the age of social media, nothing is ever just innocent. The comments section immediately erupted like a lit fuse. One reply in particular cut through the noise: "All she needed was someone like you to bring out her feminine side." A compliment? Maybe. But the internet knows better. People do not drop lines like that unless they are trying to stir the pot, unless they are signaling something deeper. And as if the situation had been scripted for chaos, Claressa's ex, Tony Richardson, under his alias Tony Rich, jumped in with a Facebook post so loaded, so taunting, that fans froze mid-scroll. His words? A mockery. A jab at Remy Ma. A post that practically screamed, "I know something you do not." And the timing? Too perfect. Too sharp-edged. As though every post, every emoji, every screenshot had been arranged with surgical precision. Fans were quick to pounce, sharing, reposting, whispering in group chats, debating in gossip threads. Within hours, Tony's post spread like wildfire, climbing into the hundreds of shares, then thousands of comments. Twitter threads multiplied, Instagram stories buzzed with screenshots, Discord chats filled with memes. It was not just gossip anymore, it was a full-scale digital wildfire. People were not just watching, they were dissecting, relishing every messy detail, every petty word. And then, just when the scandal seemed ready to implode, Claressa herself entered the scene. She did not ignore it. She did not defend herself. She did not even attempt to extinguish the flames. Instead, she tossed gasoline straight into the inferno. Sliding into the comments section of her ex's shady little post, she dropped a single gesture, those sugary, deceptively harmless heart emojis. And the internet froze. Collective pause. Screenshots flying. Did she just do that? Did the reigning champion of women's boxing really co-sign her ex's public mockery with a smile? Fans blinked, scrolled back, reread, almost disbelieving what they were seeing. Because let us be clear, this was not just an emoji. This was a statement. A dagger wrapped in sugar. A move that whispered, "Yes, I see you. Yes, I approve." And the timing could not have been more brutal. Here she was, attending premieres, being uplifted by Papoose, and at the same time openly laughing along with her ex's digs at his own wife. The scandal unfolded like a screenplay. Too neat. Too deliberate. Too scandalous to dismiss. The audience? Hooked. Every phone screen lit up, every timeline scrolled faster, every voice buzzing in disbelief. The moment was cinematic, almost too cinematic. And now, the question everyone is asking, was this all coincidence, or was Claressa Shields revealing a side of herself the world was never supposed to see? And so the whispers began, louder, sharper, relentless. Was Claressa truly finished with Tony? Or had she been putting on the performance of a lifetime, masking heartbreak with glitz and glamour, while secretly tethered to the same man who once had her spinning inside a storm? Because if this messy, public emoji exchange, is what she is willing to put on display, imagine the unseen version. Imagine the private reel, the unsent late-night texts, the half-written drafts never posted, the playlists filled with heartbreak songs on repeat, playing softly in the dark while the world thought she was smiling. Social media only ever gives you 1% of the truth. But that 1%? It is toxic enough to keep millions of people guessing for months. Let us rewind, because none of this chaos, none of this betrayal energy, makes sense unless we roll the tape back to the very beginning. Claressa did not stumble into Tony Richardson's life like some random fling. He was not an oops moment, he was not a situationship, and he definitely was not just a placeholder. He was woven into her public identity. From the end of 2020 onward, she made it crystal clear. There was no guessing game, no cryptic captions, no soft launches. No, Claressa flat out declared to the world, "My partner loves me." That was not coyness. That was not flirting with attention. That was a proclamation, a claim staked on her page like a glowing neon billboard flashing across timelines. By 2022, the neon sign had turned into a diamond. A rock so loud it caught every flashbulb, every paparazzi lens, every single fan screenshotting her hand like it was breaking news. This was not costume jewelry. This was not Instagram-only bling. This was intent, weight, permanence. The comments section drowned in OMGs, yes queen s, and fiancé goals. They were not hiding anymore, they were engaged. And not in the superficial celebrity way where rings are swapped like accessories and the engagement exists only for likes. No. This was deeper. Claressa was posting anniversary shots, captions dripping with devotion, her smile curving toward Tony like he was her son, and she was locked in his orbit. The photos were curated yet raw, filtered yet intimate, cheek-to-cheek selfies, vacation snaps, his arm protectively wrapped around her waist. She was not hinting at love. She was broadcasting it. Fast forward to 2024, and the receipts tell an even more dangerous story. Tony was not just present, he was hands-on. Literally. At a New Year's Eve celebration, while Claressa glittered in a mini dress that caught every spotlight, Tony's hand was captured in a position only a man deeply claimed could risk in public. Playful, intimate, undeniably theirs. Claressa did not just post the photo, she captioned it, "My fiancé and I will bring in another year. Be kind to us in 2024. That was not testing waters. That was planting a flag in the ground of love, daring anyone to challenge it. But the story did not end with a caption or a ring. By May, they crossed the line that takes couples out of the fantasy zone and into something dangerously binding. They sold their first property together. Not rented. Not flipped for clout. Sold. That is legacy. That is mortgages, taxes, merged finances, chains of commitment not easily severed, not casually untangled. That is the kind of merging that leaves scars if it breaks. So here lies the contradiction, the shocking twist that fans cannot shake. How does the same woman who once broadcast her devotion to Tony, flashing diamonds and mortgages, suddenly smile at his shady digs like they are inside jokes between old lovers? How does she scatter heart emojis like confetti at a party she swore she left? The internet sees it for what it is. They connect dots even when celebrities try to blur them. Engagements like that, relationships with assets, with captions carved into digital stone, do not just dissolve cleanly. They leave ghosts. They leave residue. They leave what-ifs that creep into your memory at midnight, even when you are lying beside someone new. And when your ex decides to throw a messy little jab into the arena of public gossip, and you, of all people, respond with sugar-coated approval, the audience does not just notice. They dissect it. They screenshot it. They amplify it until the whispers become deafening. So the burning question remains, did Claressa Shields ever truly move on? Or has she been nurturing a dangerous flame all this time, hiding it in the shadows, waiting for the right spark to set everything ablaze again? And where exactly does that leave Papoose? Poor Papa, standing tall, presenting himself as the immovable oak tree in Claressa's storm, clinging to the role of the steady partner. But the question clawing at every fan's mind is this, does he not see what the rest of us are seeing? Or is he deliberately choosing blindness? Because the optics here, the optics are merciless. The optics scream of a woman straddling two worlds, one foot planted firmly in the nostalgia of Tony Richardson, the other dancing in the promise of her present with Papoose. And when you look closely, those optics whisper one thing over and over again, unfinished business. Here's the kicker, the receipts do not add up. You cannot go from calling a man your forever, flashing a diamond ring the size of a headline, selling property with him, branding yourselves as unshakable, to then casually sliding into his shady little Facebook mess with sugary emojis. That is not closure. That is contradiction. And contradictions like this never stay hidden for long. Either Claressa never truly ended it with Tony, or she is orchestrating a game so subtle, so layered, that even her fans, the same fans who document her every post like detectives, cannot decide where her real loyalties lie. And games like that? They always end badly. Because sooner or later, somebody, the ex, the new man, the fans, or the relentless media, will force a choice. But here is the dangerous truth about scandal, it thrives on the forbidden, the unresolved, the messy middle ground. Fans are not just shocked. They are addicted. They are digging, theorizing, gossiping in real time, turning Claressa's love life into a never-ending soap opera. Because betrayal stories, especially ones dripping with unfinished business and loyalty tests, hit close to home. We project our own heartbreaks onto them. We compare our own unresolved what-ifs. And when Claressa drops that single emoji, she is not just reacting. She is cracking open a door wide enough for the speculation to storm through. And storm through it has. Every gossip page has seized it. Fan threads are buzzing like a hive. Think pieces dissect it with surgical precision. TikToks and Twitter posts churn theories by the minute. Some claim Claressa still loves Tony. Others argue she is clout baiting for attention. Still more believe she is shading Papoose in real time. And the scariest theory of all? That every single one of those explanations could be true at once. Because people are layered. Motives are messy. And nothing about this saga is straightforward. Yet beneath all the chaos, one fact sits unshaken: Claressa and Tony were never casual. They were ring-flashing, property-selling, asset-merging partners. That is not a fling. That is a future that once had roots. And futures like that do not disappear, they haunt. They linger. They leave fingerprints on every new relationship, and every time Claressa drops a subtle nod in his direction, she reminds the world of a terrifying possibility: that Tony Richardson is not just an old chapter in her book, but the unfinished one she cannot stop rewriting. And now, for fans watching this play out, it is almost comedic. Because right after laughing along with Tony's messy jabs, Claressa appears arm in arm with Papoose. The timing is too sharp, too suspicious. People are now asking the one question no one dares answer: when exactly did Claressa and Tony end? Was Papoose's new beginning born while she was still legally engaged? The internet's side-eye is merciless, dissecting the timeline frame by frame. Tony, meanwhile, grows bolder, brazen enough to mock not only Claressa but also Remy Ma, Papoose's wife, dragging her name into the chaos. To fans, this is not just shade. This is evidence. This is proof of a triangle with no clean lines, only jagged edges. And Papoose? He enters the scene as either the most unconcerned man alive or the most clueless. Because while his ex and his current flame trade blows and emojis with abandon, he is proudly parading Claressa on his Instagram as if he has just won the championship belt of romance. His caption? If the path is beautiful, let us not ask where it leads. Poetic. Sweet. Almost adorable. Except the fans are not charmed. They are furious. They are asking, Papoose, are you even awake? Do you see what is happening around you? Meanwhile, Remy Ma refuses to bite her tongue. She slides into the discourse, her shade sharp enough to cut steel. She makes it clear, this is not just harmless banter. Her words drip with sarcasm, implying that Claressa may not be killing in the ring the way Papoose once failed to kill in love. The receipts are online. The shade is undeniable. Picture the scene: Remy firing shots, Claressa giggling at her ex's posts, and Papoose desperately trying to hold his ground with carefully curated Instagram captions. Fans are divided, confused, exhausted. Who is telling the truth? Who is faking loyalty? And why is Papoose so quiet when silence itself has become the loudest commentary of all? In scandals like this, silence is never neutral. Silence is gasoline. Every second he refuses to clarify only fuels speculation, feeding gossip blogs, meme pages, and TikTok stitches that turn Claressa's messy triangle into something far bigger than a relationship. It is a circus. It is a firestorm. It is a storyline so dramatic it no longer feels like real life, and yet it is unfolding before millions, in real time. The triangle at the heart of this saga is not just twisted, it is raw, it is brutal, it is painfully human. Claressa Shields now finds herself torn between two very different men, each one carrying a different kind of baggage. On one side, Papoose, a man still entangled in legal vows, a man dragging the weight of unfinished promises and the shadow of betrayal wherever he goes. On the other side, Tony Richardson, the ex, the man she once envisioned a future with, the man she flashed diamonds for, the man she believed she could rebuild her life beside until the cracks became impossible to hide. This is not some Instagram fling. This is not a TikTok love story. This is a woman trapped in the gravitational pull of two worlds, pulled back and forth by love, loyalty, and unfinished wounds. And the cruelest twist? The entire world is watching, treating her pain like it is nothing more than digital theater. Many once believed Papoose was untouchable, the loyal husband, the steady oak tree, the embodiment of respect. But now? Fans whisper that Papoose may have chosen the wrong battlefield. Instead of appearing wise, strategic, above the noise, he looks consumed by it. He looks like a man shadowboxing ghosts while the real players, Remy Ma and Claressa, circle one another with claws sharper than knives. Papoose has been reduced to background noise in his own story, while Claressa's past refuses to die, haunting her like a restless spirit she cannot silence. Spoiler alert, that past is not behind her. Not even close. What makes this scandal electric is the shift: it is no longer about Papoose at all. He has faded into the background while the spotlight sharpens on a head-to-head collision between Remy Ma and Claressa Shields. And here's the shocker: Claressa did not retreat. She did not dodge. She leaned into it. When Remy lobbed her shade, Claressa caught it mid-air, sharpened it, and hurled it right back. The internet nearly combusted when Claressa tweeted, "Claressa Shields vs. Real Remy Ma February 2nd. Crash out and get behind you hooped." That one line froze the digital world. Seconds later, she deleted it. But it was already too late. Screenshots flew faster than fists. The tweet had been immortalized, stamped into the internet forever. And if you know one thing about social media, it is this: deletion is never erasure. Deletion is gasoline. Deletion whispers, I said it, and I know you saw it. And the fans? They erupted. Because this was no longer shade. This was a gauntlet. Claressa Shields, world champion, was essentially calling out Remy Ma to meet her in the ring. And the crowd was ready. This was no idle gossip anymore, this was a showdown. Both women had already been mocking each other about their lack of knockouts. These were not light words. These were bruising words, pride-soaked words, words that begged for the gloves to come off. Fans scrambled to piece it together. Wait. Is this still about Papoose? Or are we about to witness Claressa and Remy turn their feud into a real fight? Claressa fueled the frenzy further with Instagram posts that did not just tease, they taunted. One photo in particular had her grinning in the streets of New York, captioned, "Outdoors on these New York streets? Give me a call." That was not subtle. That was not cryptic. That was a war horn. A dare. A bait dangling in front of Remy for the entire world to see. And let us be brutally honest, this is the kind of blood-in-the-water feud the internet thrives on. Messy, public, personal, woman-to-woman combat. Fans screenshot, repost, meme. TikToks explode. Threads spin theories. The feud mutates into pure entertainment, and nobody cares who gets hurt. They care about the chaos. They care about the clapbacks. They care about watching two women burn each other down for the crowd's amusement. And Claressa? She gave them everything. But just when the flames seemed high enough, a new player stepped into the fire, Easy the Block Captain. Yes, the combat rapper, the same man linked to Remy since last year. And he did not slink in quietly. No, he marched into the chaos with his own matchstick. He begged Papoose publicly to unblock him, reigniting the old rumor that Papoose had once knocked him out. Except this time Easy denied it. Loudly. He claimed Papoose never laid a hand on him. Not once. Instead, Easy declared something even more explosive, that Papoose had known about his entanglement with Remy for 2 years. 2 whole years of silent awareness. 2 years of watching the betrayal unfold in real time. 2 years of parading Claressa on Instagram while privately stewing in the knowledge that his own wife's loyalty was cracked. And with that revelation, the triangle became a square. And the internet?